The Deep Space Monitoring Station, Horizon's Edge, hung in the void like a gleaming spider's web, its sensor arrays stretched across 20 kilometers of space. Inside the central hub, Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her quantum resonance displays with growing concern. The patterns she was seeing weren't random background noise. They were organized, coherent, and unlike anything humanity had encountered in their 50 years of space exploration. "Director Hayes," she called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I think you need to see this." The station's director appeared behind her workstation, his weathered face reflected in the holographic displays. At 63, James Hayes had spent more time in space than on Earth, and he'd developed an instinct for when something was truly unprecedented. "What am I looking at, Dr. Chen?" "These are quantum entanglement patterns, sir. But they're structured, like a language, but transmitted through connected quantum states instead of electromagnetic waves." She manipulated the display, highlighting complex patterns that pulsed with an almost organic rhythm. "And they're getting stronger." Hayes leaned closer, his eyes narrowing. "Source: the Veil Nebula, specifically the NGC 6960 segment. But sir, that's not the most interesting part." She pulled up another display, this one showing energy readings. "These patterns, they're carrying emotional content. Fear, pain, desperation." Before Hayes could respond, the quantum patterns suddenly intensified. The display filled with urgent, pulsing signals that made the hair on the back of Sarah's neck stand up. As she watched, the random patterns resolved themselves into coherent thoughts, broadcasting directly into her consciousness. "Help us. They hunt us. They harvest our dream crystals. We are the whispers, and we are dying." Hayes gripped the edge of the console, his knuckles white. Like everyone else on the station, he could feel the desperate plea echoing in his mind. "How many?" he asked quietly. Sarah's fingers flew across the holographic interface. "Based on the quantum signature spread, at least 10 million distinct consciousnesses, all interconnected." She paused, running another analysis. "Sir, their neural patterns are completely alien, but they're undeniably sapient. And whatever's happening to them is genocide." Hayes finished grimly. He straightened up, decision made. "Send everything to Earth Fleet Command, Priority 1 channel, and get me a direct line to Admiral Zhang." The response from Earth came faster than anyone expected. Within 12 hours, the quantum channels were buzzing with activity as Earth's most advanced warships were redirected to the Veil Nebula. The UEA's Hyperion, humanity's newest dreadnought, would lead the response fleet. On the bridge of the Hyperion, Captain Maya Patel reviewed the preliminary data from Horizon's Edge. She'd been awakened in the middle of her sleep cycle by the emergency orders, but now she was fully alert, her dark eyes scanning the tactical displays as her crew prepared for faster-than-light transit. "What do we know about these harvesters?" she asked her XO, Commander David Walsh. Walsh brought up the intelligence summary. "Not much, Captain. They seem to be organized around some kind of collective, operating in the gaps between recognized galactic territories. They've been reported raiding isolated species before, but nothing on this scale." Maya nodded slowly. Humanity was still relatively new to the galactic scene, and many of the older species viewed them with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. Humans had evolved on what most considered a death world. Earth's high gravity, extreme weather, and variable climate had produced a species that was uncommonly tough and adaptable. And the Whispers themselves. "Fascinating species, Captain," her science officer, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, interjected. "Based on the quantum patterns, they exist partially in our normal space-time and partially in a quantum substrate. Their dream crystals appear to be natural quantum computers, grown within their equivalent of a neural structure. The harvesters are literally ripping out their consciousness for profit." Maya felt her jaw clench. Humanity had fought its own brutal wars, had nearly destroyed itself more than once. But they'd learned from those mistakes, had grown beyond them. The thought of a species that would casually harvest another race's consciousness for profit, it was beyond abhorrent. "Time to jump coordinates," she asked. "Coordinates locked, Captain. Fleet is in formation. We can transit on your mark." Maya took one last look at the tactical display. 5 of Earth's most advanced warships were arrayed behind a Hyperion, representing more firepower than humanity had ever deployed at once. The Whisper's plea had awakened something primal in humanity's collective consciousness, a deep-seated need to protect the vulnerable, to stand against those who would prey on the defenseless. "Send to fleet," she ordered. "All ships, prepare for faster-than-light transit. We're about to show the galaxy why you don't hunt sentient beings when humans are around." The Hyperion's quantum drive spooled up, creating a corridor through space-time. As the fleet prepared to make the jump, Maya reflected that humanity's reputation as Deathworlders was about to serve a higher purpose. Sometimes it took predators to stop predators, and humanity had evolved as the apex predators of one of the galaxy's harshest worlds. Transit in 3, 2, 1. The fleet vanished in a flash of quantum displacement, racing to the aid of a species they'd never met, carrying with them humanity's unshakable determination to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. The Hyperion and her sister ships emerged from quantum space at the edge of the Veil Nebula, their sensors immediately coming alive with data. The ethereal colors of the nebula stretched before them, but the beauty of the scene was marred by the dark shapes moving through the gas clouds. Harvester ships, dozens of them. Captain Maya Patel's first impression was that the harvester vessels looked wrong. They were angular, aggressive, with crystalline protrusions that pulsed with stolen consciousness. Their hulls were covered in collection arrays, tools designed specifically for extracting the dream crystals from their victims. Multiple contacts, Lieutenant Sarah Rodriguez reported from Tactical, counting 37 harvester vessels. "There, Captain, they're herding something. Like cattle." Dr. Tanaka's voice was tight with anger as he analyzed the sensor readings. "Those energy signatures, they're using quantum disruption fields to force the Whispers into collection zones. They're literally corralling conscious beings." Maya stood from her command chair, her expression hardening. "Show me." The main view screen shifted, revealing streams of quantum energy that to human eyes looked like rivers of ghostly light. Within these streams, millions of distinct consciousness patterns flickered and pulsed, being driven together by the Harvester's disruptor fields. "Captain," Communications Officer Chen interrupted. "We're being hailed by what appears to be the Harvester command ship." On screen, the being that appeared was tall and spindly, with multiple sets of manipulator appendages and a face that seemed to be more mechanical than organic. When it spoke, its voice was a synthesized approximation of human speech. "This is Collector Prime 6427 of the Harvester Collective. You have entered a designated collection zone. Remove yourselves immediately or be marked as interference units." Maya's response was calm but carried an edge of steel. "This is Captain Maya Patel of the UEA's Hyperion. We received a distress call from the sentient species you are currently attempting to harvest. Under Article 7 of the Galactic Charter regarding the protection of sapient life, we are hereby ordering you to cease all collection activities immediately." The Collector Prime's face showed no emotion. It probably couldn't, but its voice carried a note of condescension. "The Charter does not apply here. These are resource nodes, not sapients. Our permits are in order. Remove yourselves, or we will be forced to take action." Maya cut the transmission with a sharp gesture. "Well, we tried diplomacy. Status of Operation Guardian." Commander Walsh brought up the tactical overlay. "Ready, Captain. The Whispers have been communicating with us since we arrived. They're terrified, but they understand the plan. They'll move when we give the signal." Maya nodded. The plan was audacious, relying on humanity's unique advantages. Where other species saw the high gravity and extreme conditions of Earth as limitations, humans had learned to use them as weapons. "All ships, execute Operation Guardian. Protection protocols are now in effect." Across the human fleet, Massive gravity generators spooled up, technology originally designed to help humans maintain Earth-normal conditions in space. But now they had been modified, carefully calibrated to create safe zones that would protect the quantum-based Whispers while being lethal to the Harvester's more conventional technology. The effect was immediate and devastating. The closest Harvester ships, designed for the minimal gravity of deep space, began to crumple under the sudden onset of Earth-normal gravity. Their crystalline collectors shattered, their hulls buckled, and their engines failed as they were crushed by forces they were never designed to withstand. Collector Prime is responding, Rodriguez reported. They're launching fighters. Wait, energy spike. They're trying to destabilize the Whisper's quantum matrices. Not on my watch, Maya growled. Execute Phase 2. Show them why you don't threaten defenseless species when humans are around. The human fleet moved with practiced precision, their ship's artificial gravity fields creating a complex network of safe zones and kill zones. The Whispers, understanding the plan through their quantum communication, flowed into the protected areas, while the Harvester ships found themselves caught in overlapping fields of crushing gravity. "Ma'am," Dr. Tanaka called out, excitement in his voice. "The Whispers, they're not just hiding in our safe zones. They're synchronizing with our ship systems. They're amplifying our gravity fields." Maya allowed herself a small smile. This was why humanity had survived on their death world. The ability to adapt, to form alliances, to turn apparent weaknesses into strengths. The Harvesters had thought they were hunting helpless prey, never considering that their victims might find protectors who understood what it meant to be underestimated. The battle unfolded like a deadly dance. Human ships, guided by the quantum-enhanced precision of their new allies, herded the Harvester fleet into killing zones where Earth-normal gravity crushed their ships into scrap. The few vessels that attempted to fight back found their weapons disrupted by the Whisper's quantum interference, their targeting systems confused by the overlapping gravity fields. Collector Prime is retreating, Rodriguez announced. Their command ship is attempting to quantum jump. Correction, their drive just imploded under the gravity stress. Security teams, prepare for boarding action, Maya ordered. I want that command ship's database. Time to find out just how many other species these Harvesters have been terrorizing. As the battle wound down, the quantum channels filled with a new emotion from the Whispers. Not fear or desperation now, but a mixture of gratitude and awe. They had never encountered a species not only willing but able to stand against the Harvesters, and they had certainly never expected their saviors to be the primitive humans that the older galactic species so often dismissed. Commander Walsh approached Maya's chair, his tablet displaying preliminary battle reports. "Captain, the Whispers are asking what happens next. They're worried the Harvesters will return with a larger fleet." Maya's expression was grim but determined. "Tell them that was just Phase 1. Now we take the fight to the Harvesters. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity doesn't just protect. We make sure the threat is eliminated permanently." The quantum channels hummed with agreement, human and Whisper consciousness working in harmony. The galaxy was about to learn a crucial lesson. Underestimating humans was bad enough, but threatening those under their protection, that was a mistake you only made once. The captured Harvester command ship's database had revealed an uncomfortable truth. The collective's operation against the Whispers was just one small part of a massive exploitation network. Dozens of species across the galaxy's spiral arms had fallen victim to their collection activities, always targeting those least able to defend themselves. In the 3 weeks since the initial confrontation, the UES Hyperion had transformed. The Whisper's quantum-based consciousness had integrated seamlessly with the ship's systems, creating a hybrid of human technology and quantum awareness that surpassed anything in known space. Captain Maya Patel stood on her bridge, watching the tactical display where red dots marked confirmed Harvester bases. "The collective is mobilizing," Commander Walsh reported, his voice grim. "Long-range quantum sensors are picking up hundreds of ships converging on our position. They're not used to prey that fights back." "Good," Maya replied, her voice steady. "That means we have their attention." "Dr. Tanaka, status of Project Thunderbolt." The science officer looked up from his station, where complex quantum calculations scrolled across multiple screens. "Ready, Captain. The Whispers have helped us modify our gravity generators beyond anything we thought possible. When we trigger the quantum resonance cascade, it will create a gravity shockwave that will propagate through their entire fleet. And our ships won't be affected. The Whispers are creating quantum bubbles around our vessels, zones where the laws of physics themselves can be selectively enforced. We're as ready as we'll ever be." Maya nodded, studying the tactical display. The plan was audacious, even by human standards. They had positioned themselves at the edge of the Carina Nebula, using the dense gas clouds to mask their true numbers. The Harvester fleet would expect to find a handful of human ships protecting their newly acquired Whisper allies. Instead, they would encounter humanity's full response to their crimes. "All ships, battle stations," Maya ordered. "Execute Operation Thunderbolt on my mark." The Harvester fleet emerged from quantum space in waves, their ships now heavily modified with reinforced hulls and gravity compensation fields, adaptations to counter the tactics that had proved so devastating in their first encounter. Their formation was perfect, a textbook example of overwhelming force designed to crush a numerically inferior opponent. It was exactly what Maya had been counting on. "Now," she commanded. The trap was sprung with devastating efficiency. The nebula's gas clouds suddenly lit up with quantum energy as hundreds of Whispers revealed themselves, their consciousness creating a vast neural network that connected every human ship. At the same time, the modified gravity generators activated, creating a cascading wave of overlapping fields that moved at quantum speeds. The effect on the Harvester fleet was catastrophic. Ships that had been hardened against normal gravity manipulation found themselves caught in fields that shifted faster than their compensators could adjust. Metal screamed as hulls twisted under forces that changed from 0 G to crush depth pressures in microseconds. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Rodriguez reported from Tactical. "They're trying to retreat. Correction. Their quantum drives are offline. The Whispers are actively disrupting their escape attempts." Maya allowed herself a grim smile. "Launch fighters. Let's show them what happens when humanity brings its full force to bear." Earth's fighters streamed from their carrier ships, their pilots working in perfect synchronization with the Whisper's quantum awareness. Where other species saw space combat as a matter of energy weapons and shields, humans had never forgotten the lessons learned in atmospheric combat. Their fighters dove and weaved through the Harvester formation, using the artificial gravity fields to slingshot themselves at impossible speeds, striking with conventional kinetic weapons that the Harvester's energy shields were never designed to stop. "Harvester command and control is fragmenting," Walsh reported. "Their coordination is breaking down. They've never faced an opponent that could match their numbers and technology while exceeding their tactical capabilities." The battle turned into a rout. Harvester ships, unable to coordinate or retreat, were systematically torn apart by the combined human-Whisper assault. Those that survived found themselves herded into killing zones where overlapping gravity fields reduced them to twisted metal. As the last Harvester ships were neutralized, Maya received an urgent communication from Earth Fleet Command. Admiral Zhang's hologram appeared on the bridge, his expression serious. "Captain Patel, your success against the Harvester fleet has not gone unnoticed. We're receiving quantum transmissions from multiple species across the galaxy, others who have suffered under Harvester predation. They're asking for our help, and the Security Council has agreed. You're being promoted to Fleet Admiral, effective immediately. Your new mission, build a task force and end the Harvester threat permanently." Maya straightened, feeling the weight of her new responsibility. "Understood, Admiral. What about the Whispers?" "They've formally requested alliance with Earth, offering to share their quantum technology in exchange for our protection. The Council approved it unanimously." "Congratulations, Admiral Patel. You've just helped forge humanity's most significant alliance since we joined the galactic community." As the hologram faded, Maya turned to her crew. The bridge was silent, everyone processing the implications. Humanity had entered galactic society as newcomers, viewed with mixture of curiosity and dismissal by the older species. Now they would be known as protectors, the species that stood up when others looked away. "Send to all ships," she ordered. The harvesters thought they could continue their predation without consequences. They thought they could simply avoid the stronger species and prey on the vulnerable. Today, we proved them wrong. Today, we showed them that humanity's strength isn't just in our ships or our technology. It's in our willingness to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. The quantum channels hummed with agreement. Human and whisper consciousness united in purpose. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was leading that change. The harvesters had awakened something they couldn't possibly have anticipated. Humanity's fundamental drive to protect, to defend, to ensure that justice reached even the darkest corners of space. The hunt was on, and this time, the predators would become the prey. Fleet Admiral Maya Patel stood in the newly constructed Alliance Command Center on Earth's lunar base, studying the massive holographic display that showed the known galaxy. Red markers indicated confirmed harvester operations, while blue lights showed the growing coalition of species joining humanity's cause. In the 3 months since the battle at Carina Nebula, everything had changed. The Crystalline Collective has formally requested to join the Alliance, Commander Walsh reported, now serving as her chief of staff. That makes 17 species in total. Maya nodded, watching as another blue light appeared in the display. The crystallines were silicon-based life forms who had evolved in the superheated cores of dying stars. Like the Whispers, they had been targeted by the harvesters for their unique properties. In their case, the ability to store vast amounts of energy in their crystalline matrices. And the harvesters' response. They're adapting, but not fast enough. Our combined fleet took out 3 of their major processing centers in the last week alone. The Whispers' quantum intelligence network lets us predict their movements with 89% accuracy. Dr. Tanaka approached, his tablet displaying complex quantum calculations. "Admiral, you need to see this. The Drachnid representatives have brought us something interesting." The holographic display shifted, showing a massive structure floating in deep space. It appeared to be ancient, its surface covered in geometric patterns that pulsed with faint energy. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" "A quantum amplification array, abandoned by one of the elder species millennia ago. The Drachnids have been hiding it from the harvesters for centuries. With the Whisper's help, we can bring it back online, extend our quantum field coverage to nearly a quarter of the galaxy." Maya studied the structure thoughtfully. The Drachnids were another species that had evolved in extreme conditions, the crushing depths of gas giant cores. Like humanity, they understood what it meant to be underestimated because of their origins. Status of the new fleet. Walsh brought up another display, showing dozens of ships under construction in Earth's orbital shipyards. The vessels were unlike anything humanity had built before, incorporating technology and design elements from all their new allies. The first wave will be ready in 2 weeks. We're calling them the Guardian class. Whisper quantum cores, crystalline power systems, Drachnid pressure hulls, and human tactical systems. The harvesters won't know what hit them. A warning light flashed on the main display. Lieutenant Rodriguez, who had followed Maya from the Hyperion to Alliance Command, quickly brought up the alert. Priority message from the Meridian Deep Space Array. They're detecting massive quantum disturbances in the Sagittarius arm. The harvesters, they're targeting the Auroran spawning grounds. Maya's expression hardened. The Aurorans were energy beings who reproduced by seeding young stars with their consciousness. Their spawning grounds were crucial to their species' survival. "They're getting desperate," Walsh observed, "hitting civilian targets, trying to draw us out." "No," Maya replied, her voice firm. "They're trying to show the galaxy that we can't protect everyone, that some species are still beyond our reach." She straightened, decision made. Signal the fleet. All ships prepare for quantum jump. And get me a direct line to the Auroran Collective. The response was immediate. Ships from 17 different species converged on Earth's coordinates, their crews linked by the Whisper's quantum network. Each brought their own unique strengths: the crystalline's energy manipulation, the Drachnid's mastery of extreme environments, the Auroran's ability to channel stellar forces. The Harvesters thought they were clever. Maya addressed the assembled fleet commanders. They chose the spawning grounds because they're inside the corona of an active star. They think we can't fight them there. She smiled grimly. They forgot who they're dealing with. Humanity evolved on a death world, but we never let that stop us from reaching the stars. Now we're going to show them what happens when you combine human determination with the strengths of every species they tried to victimize. The plan was audacious, combining multiple species technologies in ways never before attempted. The Whisper's quantum fields would protect the fleet from stellar radiation. Crystalline energy matrices would channel the star's power. Drachnid pressure technology would keep their ships intact. And human tactical doctrine would turn it all into a weapon. All ships, prepare for quantum jump, Maya ordered. Today we remind the galaxy that there are no more easy targets, no more helpless victims. Today we show them that when humanity promises protection, that protection reaches everywhere. The combined fleet vanished in a cascade of quantum displacement, leaving Earth behind. In their wake, construction crews from a dozen species continued work on the Guardian-class vessels, ships that would ensure this new alliance was more than temporary. The galaxy was changing. Species that had once been dismissed as evolutionary dead ends, trapped in their extreme environments, were rising up. Under human leadership, they were transforming from victims into defenders, from prey into protectors. And the Harvesters were about to learn that attacking the spawning grounds of an Alliance member wasn't just a tactical mistake. It was the last mistake they would ever make. The surface of the star Sagittarius 317 churned with plasma storms and solar flares that would have vaporized conventional ships instantly. Yet within this inferno, an unprecedented battle was about to begin. The Alliance fleet emerged from quantum space directly inside the star's corona, their combined technologies allowing them to operate where no ships were meant to survive. Admiral Maya Patel watched as the tactical display updated, showing hundreds of Harvester vessels surrounding the delicate quantum filaments of the Auroran spawning grounds. The enemy had clearly never expected to be challenged here. Their formations were loose, unprepared for combat in stellar conditions. Multiple quantum signatures, Rodriguez reported. Harvester reinforcements arriving. They're bringing in their whole fleet, Admiral. Good, Maya replied, her voice carrying the cold certainty of someone who had planned for exactly this moment. Signal the crystalline ships. Execute Operation Sunforge. The effect was immediate and devastating. The crystalline vessels, their hulls engineered to channel stellar energy, began absorbing the star's plasma. The Whisper's quantum network coordinated their efforts, creating a cascading wave of energy manipulation that turned the very substance of the star into a weapon. Harvester fleet is responding, Walsh reported. They're trying to retreat to safer orbital distances. Not this time. Maya's eyes narrowed. Signal the Drachnids. Release the gravity wells. Massive gravity generators, built to Drachnid specifications that could survive the crushing pressures of gas giant cores, activated simultaneously. The Harvesters found their escape routes cut off by overlapping fields of distorted spacetime, trapping them in the corona. All ships, battle formations, Maya ordered. Show them why you don't threaten children in front of their protectors. The Alliance fleet moved with perfect coordination, each species' ships performing the role they were best suited for. Crystalline vessels channeled solar plasma into devastating energy beams. Drachnid ships created corridors of survivable space through the stellar matter. Human vessels executed precision strikes at vulnerable points identified by the Whisper's quantum awareness. And above it all, the Aurorans themselves joined the battle. Their energy-based forms, normally peaceful and contemplative, merged with the star's power. They became living weapons, their consciousness focused by the whispers into coherent beams of stellar force that cut through Harvester shields like they didn't exist. Harvester command ship detected. Rodriguez called out. They're trying to push through to the spawning grounds. Not on my watch. Maya's voice was steel. All ships, form on me. Whispers, prepare for maximum quantum synchronization. Show them what happens when humanity and its allies fight as one. The UES Hyperion led the charge, its hybrid human whisper systems pushing the boundaries of what should have been possible. The ship's quantum field merged with the Auroran energy patterns, creating a localized space where the laws of physics bent to their will. The Harvester command ship, massive and bristling with weapons, found itself facing something unprecedented. A coalition of species it had once preyed upon now turned into an unstoppable force under human leadership. They're powering up their main weapon, Walsh warned. Some kind of quantum disruptor. Let them try, Maya smiled grimly. Signal the crystallines. Time to show them what real power looks like. The Harvester weapon fired, a beam of quantum disruption that should have torn apart any conventional matter it touched. Instead, it met a wall of crystalline-channeled solar plasma, guided by whisper quantum fields, contained by drachnid gravity technology, and targeted with human precision. The feedback was catastrophic. The Harvester command ship's weapon imploded, taking most of its bow section with it. Secondary explosions cascaded through its hull as systems overloaded. They're broadcasting a surrender signal, Rodriguez reported, disbelief in her voice. The entire Harvester fleet. They're standing down. Maya stood from her command chair, watching as the tactical display showed Harvester ships powering down across the battlefield. Signal all ships. Secure their vessels. I want their databases, their navigation logs, everything. No more hidden victims. No more secret hunting grounds. The aftermath of the battle brought changes that would reshape the galaxy. The Harvester Collective was dismantled, its leaders brought to justice before a coalition of species they had once terrorized. Their technology was repurposed, their ships rebuilt to serve the Alliance instead of prey upon the vulnerable. But the greatest change was in how the galaxy viewed its so-called primitive species. Humanity, evolved on their death world, had proved that true strength lay not in preying upon the weak, but in protecting them. The Whispers, the crystallines, the drachnids, the aurorans, species that had once been dismissed as evolutionary dead ends, became founding members of a new galactic order. 1 month after the Battle of Sagittarius 317, Maya stood in Alliance Command, watching the launch of the first Guardian-class patrol fleet. The ships were crewed by members of all allied species, their designs incorporating the best of each civilization's technology. They would ensure that no species, no matter how seemingly vulnerable, would ever again fall prey to those who viewed them as mere resources to be harvested. The Whispers are detecting new quantum signatures, Walsh reported. More species, reaching out from the gaps between known space. Asking for contact. For protection. Maya nodded, studying the growing network of blue lights on the galactic display. Send them our response. Tell them that humanity and its allies stand ready to help. Tell them that in this galaxy, the strong no longer prey upon the weak. We protect them. The quantum channels hummed with agreement, carrying the message to the furthest reaches of known space. Humanity had entered the galactic community as newcomers, viewed with dismissal by the older species. They would be remembered as the ones who proved that evolution in harsh conditions didn't create monsters, it created protectors. The age of the harvesters was over. The age of the Alliance had begun.